Have you ever stopped to think that type 2 diabetes could be developing in your body right now, without showing any clear symptoms? And the most worrying thing, perhaps you are fueling this risk without even realizing it. Small daily habits, seemingly harmless choices, can accelerate the rise in blood glucose and lead to insulin resistance. If you've ever heard of prediabetes, high blood sugar, or difficulty controlling blood sugar, this video is for you. Ignoring these signs is like paving the way for diabetes to silently take hold. The good news is that there are 3 simple and powerful steps that can protect your health and prevent type 2 diabetes naturally and effectively. If you want to understand how to strengthen your pancreas, balance your blood sugar levels, and avoid future complications, stay with me. Now I'm going to show you exactly what to do to turn this game around before it's too late. Now that you understand the silent danger that is type 2 diabetes, let's get straight to the point. There are 3 steps that are absolutely crucial for anyone who really wants to protect themselves from this increasingly common problem. These steps don't require radical changes, extreme diets, or endless hours at the gym. They are simple, practical, and, most importantly, effective in keeping glucose under control, protecting your pancreas, and avoiding insulin resistance. The first step, and perhaps the most important of all, is to correct your diet. What you put on your plate every day can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy in the fight against diabetes. Cutting out the obvious sugar, like soda and candy, everyone has heard of. But the real danger lies in hidden sugar, the one hidden in industrialized juices, fake whole grain breads, fit bars full of corn syrup, and even in foods that claim to be healthy. Excess refined carbohydrates trigger blood sugar levels, require more work from the pancreas, and over time, can lead to the depletion of beta cells. In addition to eliminating these traps, it is essential to include real foods, lean proteins, fiber-rich vegetables, good fats such as olive oil and natural seeds. Fiber is a powerful ally in controlling blood glucose, as it slows down the absorption of sugar and reduces glycemic spikes that damage the metabolism. If you really want to prevent type 2 diabetes, your first task is to look carefully at everything in your kitchen. The second step is simple but powerful. Move your body every day. You don't need to join a gym or become a professional athlete. A walk of 20 to 30 minutes a day is enough to bring immense benefits. Regular movement increases insulin sensitivity, helps the body use blood sugar for energy, and even aids in weight loss, which is one of the most important factors for anyone wanting to protect themselves from diabetes. A sedentary lifestyle is one of the biggest invisible threats to metabolic health. Sitting all day favors the accumulation of visceral fat, which settles between the organs and triggers silent inflammation, further worsening the risk of insulin resistance. If you want to lower your blood sugar naturally and without relying exclusively on medication, starting a daily movement routine is simply essential. Whether it's a walk, dancing at home, or even simple stretching and squatting exercises, the important thing is to get out of a state of inertia. The third step, often ignored but absolutely essential, is controlling stress and ensuring quality sleep. Chronic stress releases excess cortisol, and cortisol in turn raises blood glucose, even if you're eating right and exercising. It's like rowing against the tide. And it doesn't stop there. Lack of sleep is also a silent poison. Poor sleep messes with all the hormones responsible for controlling appetite, increases cravings for sugary foods, and reduces insulin sensitivity, putting you on a direct path to type 2 diabetes. Many people focus only on diet and exercise, but forget that sleep quality and stress management are just as important. Simple relaxation techniques, meditation, deep breathing, and creating a consistent sleep routine can completely transform how your body functions. It is during deep sleep that the body carries out essential processes of regeneration, glycemic control, and metabolic balance. Ignoring this part is putting all your effort to waste. These 3 steps form the basis for protecting your health against type 2 diabetes. Correcting your diet, moving daily, and controlling stress and sleep are not just random tips. These are actions validated by scientific studies and practices recommended by the best experts in metabolic health. These are attitudes that restore the body's natural ability to regulate glucose, keep insulin in balance, and protect vital organs. And the most incredible thing is that these steps do not require magic formulas or expensive medications. They only require awareness, consistency, and decision. But here comes a very important point. Knowing what the steps are is just the beginning. Many people are aware of these guidelines, but do not know how to apply them in a practical and efficient way in their daily lives. And that's exactly what we're going to start to unveil from now on. Because there's no point in understanding the theory if you don't know exactly how to transform it into concrete action in your life and reap the results you deserve. So, now that you know the 3 fundamental pillars for preventing type 2 diabetes, let's delve even deeper into each of them. Let's talk about practical strategies, simple adjustments and daily choices that can completely change the course of your health. Even knowing what needs to be done, most people keep putting it off. Leave the change in diet until tomorrow. Postpone the start of the walk. Ignore the bad nights thinking that there is no problem. And that's exactly where type 2 diabetes finds space to act. It does not appear overnight. It develops silently, gradually undermining health, while blood glucose levels rise without being noticed. When the first symptoms appear, such as excessive thirst, inexplicable tiredness, blurred vision, the damage is often already done. Insulin resistance has already advanced, the pancreas is already overloaded, and the risk of complications such as neuropathy, heart disease, and kidney problems becomes a real threat. Ignoring signs such as prediabetes, altered fasting blood, glucose, abdominal weight gain, and increased triglycerides is the mistake that most pushes people towards the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. And the worst thing is that in many cases, the person only discovers the problem during routine exams, when the metabolic damage is already installed. Now, knowing this, you need to understand the seriousness of the situation. Today, 1 in 3 adults already has prediabetes, and most have no idea. There are millions of people walking on edge, with unregulated blood glucose, silently heading towards a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes without realizing it. Every wrong meal, every sedentary day, every poorly slept night is one more step in that direction. According to recent data from the Brazilian Diabetes Society and the American CDC, the number of people living with prediabetes increases every year, driven by excess sugar in the diet, abdominal obesity, and a sedentary lifestyle. And the scariest thing, many only discover the problem when they are already suffering from serious complications, such as heart problems, blindness, or kidney failure. Every second lost is one less opportunity to change, to reverse insulin resistance, to protect the pancreas, and to maintain blood glucose balance. The sooner you act, the greater the chances of preventing the disease from progressing. That's why. I say all this because I lived it firsthand. For a long time, I believed I was doing everything right. Reasonable food, a few walks from time to time, a little care here, another there. Until one day during a routine exam, the shock came. My fasting glucose was altered, insulin resistance was beginning to set in, and the risk of developing type 2 diabetes was real. And the worst thing is that, at that moment, I didn't feel anything. No pain, no glaring symptoms, no clear clue that my body was already screaming for help. That's when the penny dropped. Metabolic health doesn't warn us with a loud alarm. It deteriorates in silence, while we believe that everything is fine. Prediabetes, which seemed distant to me, was an immediate threat, and understanding this changed everything. I started studying more about blood glucose, insulin resistance, inflammatory foods, and the true prevention of diabetes. I learned that many of the habits I thought were healthy were actually sabotaging my metabolism. Things like excess refined carbohydrates, sleepless nights, and daily stress were, without me realizing it, pulling me into the statistics. And this made me reflect. How many people today live this same illusion of health? How many believe that everything is fine simply because they still don't feel anything? The truth is that type 2 diabetes is insidious, silent, and opportunistic. He takes advantage of every opportunity you give him. An unbalanced diet, a sedentary routine, poor sleep. And when the obvious signs finally appear, it is often too late to avoid complications. It was at that moment that I decided to turn the game around and change my habits permanently. It wasn't just a choice for aesthetics or superficial well-being. It was a decision to preserve my long-term health, to protect my pancreas, to balance my blood glucose in a natural and sustainable way. And it is exactly this real experience that I want to share with you here, because I know how easy it is to ignore small warnings and leave them for later. But when it comes to diabetes, then it may be too late. Now that you understand how a lack of attention to signs can be costly, I want to show you in a practical way how to act from today to truly protect yourself, using strategies that work in a simple, effective, and natural way. Now that you understand the importance of acting, while there is time, it's time to delve into the 3 steps that really make a difference in preventing type 2 diabetes. And we start with diet, which is the strongest pillar. The big problem is not just visible sugar, but foods considered healthy that hide real traps for your blood sugar. Industrialized juices, whole grain breads filled with refined flour, cereal bars sweetened with corn syrup, light yogurts loaded with artificial sweeteners. All of this triggers blood glucose spikes, overloads the pancreas, and accelerates insulin resistance. What the body needs is real food, vegetables, high-quality proteins, good fats, and natural fibers. Every meal should be thought of as an opportunity to shield your metabolism against the silent inflammation that opens the door to diabetes. The second step is as vital as the first, moving your body. But it's not about becoming an athlete overnight. Just put your body into action constantly and consciously. A simple walk of 20 to 30 minutes already activates circulation, reduces blood glucose, increases insulin sensitivity, and combats excess abdominal fat, which is one of the great villains of metabolic health. A sedentary lifestyle is fertile ground for type 2 diabetes to thrive, and winning this battle just requires that you make the decision to move a little every day. It could be a walk outside, dancing at home, taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. The important thing is to make the blood circulate and the metabolism work as it should. The third step is one that many people underestimate, but which has a profound impact: improving sleep quality and controlling stress. Sleeping less than necessary, having nights of fragmented sleep, or living in a state of constant tension dramatically increases cortisol levels, and high cortisol deregulates glucose, favoring the accumulation of fat and the development of insulin resistance. Implementing sleep routines, such as turning off screens an hour before bed, maintaining a regular schedule, and creating a dark, quiet environment, is essential. Likewise, simple techniques such as deep breathing, guided meditation, or even relaxing walks can help reduce anxiety and the accumulated stress of everyday life. Strategic nutrition, regular movement, and a rested and balanced body form the tripod of true prevention. Now that you understand in depth how to act, you already have the formula in your hands, and it is simpler and more powerful than it seems. You don't need miracle diets or immediate medicines. Just apply these 3 steps consistently to build solid barriers against type 2 diabetes. Every healthy food choice, every walk, every good night's sleep is like building a wall that stops glucose from getting out of control and protects your cells against insulin resistance. Small, daily actions, done conscientiously, have a huge impact on balancing blood sugar levels and protecting your pancreas. Every fiber-rich meal, every moment of movement, every relaxation technique you apply reinforces your natural defense against this silent disease. And the best part, these changes not only prevent diabetes, but also improve your energy, your weight, your mood, and your quality of life as a whole. Now that you know the way, all that's left is to put it into practice, because now that you know the 3 fundamental steps to protecting your body from type 2 diabetes, I want to hear from you. Which of these steps do you find easiest to start today? What small change seems most viable within your routine? Tell me here in the comments. because your experience can inspire other people who are also looking to control their blood sugar levels and prevent insulin resistance. Sharing. Your choice is a commitment to yourself and also an encouragement to those who are still struggling with misinformation and fear. And if this content made sense to you, if it opened your eyes to the importance of conscious eating, daily movement, and restful sleep in the fight against diabetes, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any practical tips that can transform your metabolic health. Here the mission is to provide you with real, science-based strategies to protect your pancreas, balance your blood sugar levels, and build a lighter, healthier future away from the silent complications of diabetes. And speaking of real transformation, it doesn't stop here. In the next video, I'll show you the 5 mistakes that most people make on a daily basis without even realizing it. Mistakes that sabotage the health of the pancreas, increase the risk of pre-diabetes, and accelerate insulin resistance. These are small habits, but together they can be devastating for anyone who wants to keep their blood sugar under control. So don't waste time. Click now on the link that appears here on the screen and continue with me on this mission of building a healthier life, free from the fear of high blood glucose, lack of metabolic control, and the complications of type 2 diabetes. Your future starts with the choices you make today, and every piece of correct information applied in your daily life is an additional shield against this silent disease. And now, if you really want to protect your health and avoid the traps hidden on your plate, you need to watch the next video. Be careful, because there are foods that seem healthy, but in practice are silently accelerating the risk of type 2 diabetes. Experts are already warning, many people are worsening their insulin resistance thinking they are eating well. Don't leave it for later. Each wrong meal is a step closer to the diagnosis. Click now and discover these 5 foods that could be sabotaging your health without you realizing it.